It all starts in turn 1. So when we watch Todd Gilliland in the 51 car this week, his entry into turn 1, he never even gets all the way out to the wall. You want to arc turn 1 as much as you can, meaning stay against the wall as late as you can, get to the white line as late as you can. But if you miss that into turn 1, trying to carry too much speed, you have a horrible lap. It is a throwaway lap. So it is dancing on a razor blade, getting into turn 1 and carrying the right amount of speed with the right approach angle into 1.
Something just came off the car when he was coming out of turn 2. So I'm guessing there's going to be some debris on the racetrack. It stayed up near the wall.
Can't really tell what it is. Looks like maybe a hose or something. Let's see where it comes from.
I think it comes off the right side.
When you worry about, Ty Dillon's on track right now. Maybe it's it looks like a round piece of tubing. Nah, maybe, I don't know. What you worry about is gone now. And you worry about the Ty Dillon make it get gone. Right?
It's a big pickup.
Yeah.
Ty Dillon ran a 29.5 in practice.
And sure enough, Ty Dillon hit it.
Took it with him. Harrison Burton here in the 21. He ran in practice 29.71, so he's looking for a big pickup as well.
Up the racetrack a lot off of turn 2. Looked like right in the middle of the corner something happened, got up the racetrack.
It's going to be hard to make time in 3 and 4 because these guys don't get completely out of the throttle. So a corner where you're still part throttle, right there, he does make time up on the 77, but only about half as much as he lost at the other end of the racetrack.
Yeah, gave it all up in the middle of the corner. This has been really this team's problem. Like once a race gets going, their pace is okay. They run okay, but they just struggle unloading on Saturdays. They don't have pace unloading and they don't qualify well. We thought we saw in the middle of 1 and 2. So this is what we talk about. Never all the way to the wall, try to arc the corner, carry as much speed, and right there he's off the bottom. And don't know if he got loose, got tight, what happened there, but that's what killed the speed down the back straightaway. JJ Yeley on track. JJ has quietly had a good year this year. I think he's done a really good job driving this race car. Rarely do you see this guy in incidences, in wrecks, and they have good pace in the race. They don't always get the finishes that they deserve just based on pace, but he's done a really good job, and this car has had good speed, and I think it's part of the reason that Justin Haley made the decision to leave Colleague Racing and go to Rick Ware Racing next year because he's watching this car have good pace.
Still don't know AJ's plans. He's been pretty vocal that he's definitely going to be at Colleague. Unsure if it'll be in Cup or Xfinity or a mixture or road courses. Never can tell what this group's going to come up with. We know Hemrick will be in the 31 Cup car, so that's filling the Haley seat, but we haven't heard really anything official about the 16 yet.
Yeah, we talked about Logano, this team not making the playoffs, and the frustration with that. Obviously, you got a champion crew chief, a champion driver not making the next round of the playoffs, and that's very frustrating. But this team and group won't quit. They're going to bring more effort, more energy, more enthusiasm to getting the ship righted for next year.
The 99 of Daniel Suarez, right? 10 starts here with a couple of third-place finishes, which is his best on mile-and-a-half tracks. So I think he is excited to be here, and this lap's going to prove it. This is going to be well down in the 28s.
He was one of the drivers that did the tire test here as well with Logano and Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, we asked them about that test, and they said, well, we're happy the weather is like it is because it was so hot at the test. They actually started really early in the morning to try to, find some cooler track, not knowing it would be near 100 on the race weekend.
Here's Almirola. And again, comparing to 5th, which right now is Corey LaJoie, because the top 5 will advance to the final round of qualifying.
Almirola also one of those drivers and teams that we don't know what he's doing next year, but when I looked at this weekend specifically, they had pretty good pace in practice. Seemed like long run speed was pretty good, not race winning speed, but reasonable speed. And that's a good sign for this team because they have been really struggling trying to find pace.
And we see that right rear fender wheel well, and it had a little scratch on it. That came from right there. That was when he was coming up to green.
Ryan Preece also one of those teams trying to just build, bring more to next year.
And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. spun when he was trying to get up to speed.
I don't think that's going to hurt Preece. He got to finish his lap, which is fortunate.
Way up the racetrack. Remember Christopher Bell in practice when he got up the racetrack, the back of the car just came around on him. Christopher Bell did not make any contact, nor the Stenhouse Jr. right here, but that will have them starting in the very back.
Yeah.
So what's he doing up there?
Well, he's probably asking himself that right now.
No, I mean, so do you think he was just trying to, like, run a wide arc to get up to speed? I mean, what?
I think he had a problem. Most likely he had a problem getting into – he had to have something happen.
But he had just left pit road, right?
Yeah, he had just come off pit road.
Yeah, well, fair enough. I thought, yeah, that's a great point.
As we ride on board with Brad. Pretty nice set of corners right there. And you just see how close it is now. You got to be down in the 28, so he needs to find a little pace with Byron and Bell behind him. I think Brad needs to think he doesn't want to be right barely in the top 5.
There's so much throttle time down here, Steve. It's a little hard to make up a ton of time. Obviously, you can make up some time like you just did on McDowell, but you got to enter turn 3, not way off if you're going to do it.
Anticipating this lap and the Bell lap.
So not the pace we would have expected from William Byron right there through 1 and 2.
Yeah, and really not coming back. I didn't know if he just gave the entry up for a great exit, but it's not there.
So let's see if he can make up any ground over here. I don't think there's enough off-throttle time to make up a lot.
And he looked high. Steve Bell comes to speed in this very famous Interstate Batteries paint scheme. They're all over this weekend, Rick, so clean your glasses. You're going to have to figure out which one's which on the racetrack.
He spun this thing out in practice. His last lap, he was pointed the wrong direction on the racetrack. Now he's got to go out and make a Q lap. A good exit to turn 2. Now he's got 4 momentum going into turn 3. But we don't know about the pace of the track. You know, that's something we just don't know. Sometimes it picks up, sometimes it slows down. Typically it's faster, this group. Pretty interesting theory about that, Steve, is that, you know, as the track sits, you would think it gets hotter, but having cars off of the racetrack, he's up the racetrack a little bit here, did not get through 3 and 4 the way he wanted to, but as the track sits, it gains grip.
Teammate to Eric Jones. And again, Legacy Motor Club announced earlier this year they would be going from Chevrolet to Toyota.
John Hunter, who we're going to see later in the Xfinity Series race when that switch happens to Toyota, will drive this 42 car. So kind of full circle, right? A Toyota driver being announced. And a lot of conversation that Carson Hocevar could end up in Cup next year.
29 flat for Hocevar.
It is an interesting time of year, Rick, where you talk about next year, and it's very, when you're not in the playoffs, it is a very strange feeling, and that's what you do. You go all in on, hey, we're going to be ready for next year, P3 right now in this group. Just a little bit off of Eric Jones in P1.
Ty Gibbs in Cup, Trevor Bayne in Xfinity, yep.
Look at this lap right here, guys. Is this going to be good enough to go to the top?
That's huge.
Boom.
I'd paint my car Interstate Batteries because Bell was fastest in the first round.
They were okay with you winning the race in an Exide battery car?
Yeah.
I think they get a vote.
Yeah, Norma's great people.
Another great lap. Look at this out of Ross Chastain.
Wow, a 63. 0.2 of a second faster than Bell in the first round.
Look at this lap right here. Another good one. That's what I'm saying. It's flipped, and it is.
Oh, yeah.
It is. And these, hey, look, these are all great cars too. You know, the reason they're all playoff guys. Gibbs not, Jones isn't, right? Those are, but they're fast.
Think about this. The fastest lap in Group A qualifying was Bell at an 82, and now everybody is faster than Bell in this group.
Buscher continues this hot streak for the 17 car. I think at this point we can't talk a hot streak anymore. Now it is just a contender.
Yeah.
He's every week he's here. No longer a streak, no longer momentum. This is just now what we should all expect out of the 17 car. Daniel Suarez, good to see in the second round though. both cars, both Suarez and Chastain. Nice work by Trackhouse to put both cars into this final round of qualifying.
It's great to make the top 10, but I'd hate to be the first one out. I want a few other people to go to give me a little bit of information about how fast the racetrack, what kind of grip it's got in it.
Here comes Keselowski.
Both RFK cars in this final 10. Great exit speed.
Keselowski was able to run an 88, 28.88.
So he's having to breathe the throttle. He was not able to stay wide open the way we saw the 11 of Hamlin.
Wow, big pickup though.
74 for Brad.
You know, there are times, Steve, that especially in Xfinity cars, where running wide open sometimes wasn't faster because it actually did bind the car up a little bit. And those are, if I can run wide open, I'm going to do it, and I'll just take my chances. But is running wide open always faster? No, it's not. You would think it would be, but it's just not that simple.
Dinger ran an 84 in the first round.
From what I saw in practice, I don't think tires are losing a lot of grip, maybe a touch, but they held on pretty good in a race run. And actually, most guys, now I know it was in race air pressure, but they were faster on their second lap than their first in race trim. I think Bell can run that fast.
He's going to have to find something down the backstretch here.
Yep, I thought it was coming back, and then it stopped, kind of fluttered around a little bit. Is there pace on Brad? Jeff mentioned that he was out of the gas a little bit down here. Maybe that leaves room. Oh, looks up the track, though.
Life-changing.
It's going to be.
The momentum that Chris Buscher has had over the past few races, we'll see if it can help him in this qualifying run. Again, the second 5 were the fastest, and we'll see if that continues now as Chris Buscher is on the clock.
Can he beat the boss? Teammate slash boss, Brad Keselowski.
In the green, looking good. Going the wrong direction down the backstretch. Good exit to turn 4. And he will be the fastest at a 28.71.
All right, so now what does the track have in it? We've seen these next 4 cars all run in the 50s and 60s. I think that speed's still available. I do think the track was better for Group B, but I also think they just had more overall speed, but now's the time to prove it. So
that gives up the racetrack a little bit in 1 and 2, but every week we're starting to see this 54 car qualify in the top 10, race very, very well. They haven't quite had a race where everything goes the way they need it to, but they're right on the verge of being able to win a race.
Leading laps, Bristol, as we see 3rd quickest for Ty Gibbs, 28.76. Here's Ross Chastain.
We'll see if the 1 of Chastain. He's had a pretty quiet playoffs. Like when you go back to the first 3 races, this is a name that we just haven't mentioned good, bad, and different. Just been a nice quiet advancement out of the first round. Right. He likes that. Likes being on the quiet side after some of the races.
He's going to want to be on the other side of the cut line. Starting this round, he's below it by 3 points behind Tyler Reddick. And this one's not going to be fast enough to steal the pole away from Buscher. 28.76 for Chastain.
Pair of Fords on the front row right now with a pair of Toyotas to come.
Oh, way out of the gas. Yeah, he's aborting it.
Yeah, he's quit. He had to come out of the gas. He got up the racetrack, and the thing just started pushing. He was going to hit the wall if he didn't lift, and he'd recognize, hey, this is over. I'm going to start 10th. It's okay.
This could be a huge lap for the 23 of Bubba Wallace at the bottom of the playoff grid currently. No playoff points behind the rest, but could he strike first? No points awarded for the pole, but a great starting position really helps the first stage.
And that pit selection also very important, and it looks like it's going to happen for Bubba Wallace.
Man, what a great job by Bubba Wallace.
Flagpole center. Hell yeah, let's go.
Booty Parker.
Pole sitter. So Bubba Wallace, at 29 years old, wins his second career pole.
And I think this is way more than a qualifying position for this 23 team.
And already impressing people moving into this round of 12 and then go and steal the pole in the first race. Wow. First pole of the season, and you do it probably when it matters the most. How does it feel?
It feels great. Appreciate everybody on this 23 team, McDonald's, Toyota Camry. When it's time to step up to the plate and deliver, that's what these guys do. And so it's time. It's playoffs. It's what you got to do. You got to show up in big-time moments and make big-time plays. So I'm excited for today, but the real task is tomorrow. But it's good to start out on the right foot.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.